because Edmonton is, I don't think they're even playing. I
Well,
think
they
that
haven't scored,
they gave
so
up.
yeah.
So yeah, we got what? We got 5 minutes to go. Edmonton's hanging their heads, and they pulled their goalie a few minutes ago in desperation, and now they're down even more. So
What are they down?
I think it's 5-0
5-0.
with 5 minutes to go.
They can
It
pull it
would
out.
be I would say it would be the comeback of
All time.
all time. Yes, if this goes to game 7.
Yeah.
So
But so what?
well, I was kind of curious where Jimmy was that it's full on daylight outside.
Oh, I'm in Alaska.
Ah, okay.
It's
Are
full
you at
on daylight all day and all night here.
yeah. Are you at Jeremy's place or are
Yeah,
you somewhere else? Yeah.
I'm at
Okay.
Jeremy's.
Cool. Is he there
Yep,
or just
I'm.
you?
Yeah, he's here.
All right.
No, it's very it's cloudy right now. The fog just moved in a little while ago,
Hmm.
so you can't see the mountains and the ocean at the moment, but still plenty bright outside.
Gotcha.
So you were just saying you're all in, like over acclimated to the Alaska time/daylight
Oh
situation.
yeah, yeah. We're just we just do whatever whenever we want to do it, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh, it's midnight. We should go to bed. Sun's
It's
still shining.
it, we were in
So like
Montana and
Alaska, you probably got to set an alarm for getting up and one for going to bed.
You need to set an alarm for going to bed up here. Yes, that is for sure. Yeah, it's so weird.
What about Montana, Dan?
in Montana it was kind of like that. In it wasn't nearly like full time, but it was like pretty much midnight before it even got dark, and then it didn't get dark. It just got like evening dark when we were up
Hmm.
there. And like we got to a campsite where some friends of ours were going to meet us, and they met us at like 11 at night. And it was light, but it was like, well, we're here. And then we ended up hanging out till like 2 or 3 in the morning because it wasn't ever really dark. It was just
Yeah.
like it was
Oh,
campfire
Edmonton put their goalie
night.
back in.
And
Well, that'll
it's a
help.
weird feeling.
Yeah, it's so weird. The other
And
night
they scored.
we're like, hey, we should go up to
Edmonton
this.
scored.
Well, there they go. They're gonna win now.
Scoring is kind of a win at this point,
Oh
right?
man,
Yeah, for sure.
it's got to feel like it.
Yeah, the other day we
Somebody.
drove up to a beach that was like 20 minutes from here, and we didn't leave the house till like 10 something at night, and it's like, all right, we're going to head up to the beach.
Yeah.
Go see if you can see some eagles.
So, yeah, to see some eagles, and we did. We saw a lot of them.
That video you sent me yesterday was pretty cool.
Yeah, that video I sent you
Oh
yesterday was at Jeremy's house in the yard.
yeah, out over the edge of the cliff and
Yep,
over the yard.
they grab that updraft off of that cliff, and they just hover
Mm-hmm.
around and they circle. And man, that one that I sent you the video of, it was probably 5 feet above my head. It was pretty
Nice,
cool. I could hear the wings, like the noise that the wing
like whooshing.
muscles make.
This is an eagle,
Yeah, bald eagle.
and it was like gonna land in your beard, wasn't it?
I thought it was gonna try to carry me away. It was coming at me so close. It was pretty cool. We're getting up
But
at
yeah,
we're heading to the boat at the marina at 6:30 tomorrow morning, and we're gonna go out and do some salmon and halibut fishing.
Nice.
nice.
Do you end up bringing
Jeremy,
any of that
Elliot, and I.
back?
That'll be real cool.
Gonna try to,
You're
yeah,
gonna try to bring some back. Nice.
yeah, depending on what we catch and all that.
What's halibut? Is it a whitefish?
It is a whitefish. It's that funky, almost flounder-like fish, but big.
Like it's flat? Is that?
Yeah,
It's like
and
flat in the.
it's white on one side and
Yeah.
then like grayish on the other side. And it's got the
Yeah.
funky eyeballs that are on one side of the fish. It's
It's a weird
almost
deal.
flounderish looking
Yeah.
fish.
Huh. How do they get
It's
like that?
really
Like,
good eating.
do they mostly stay on the bottom and they're hiding? Is that what their deal is with the? Because
I
that's what a
think
flounder's
so.
doing, right?
I think that's kind of what they do. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and they're in deep water. Some people catch them off on shore here, but they do it at low
Mm-hmm.
tide, and there's where the cliff edge kind of drops off out in the ocean. So when
They're chucking it over that.
yeah,
Yeah.
chucking it over that edge. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Is it another bait fish that you fish for them with, or is it just
yeah. You
a lure?
use
What do you?
what do the people? What do they say? I forget. Herring, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think is what they're using most of the time. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
Have you caught one before?
No, this will be my first time even
No.
trying.
Because last
Is
time
it a
you were out
guide?
there, it was not the right season, right?
Yeah, we were just doing salmon only the last time. So I guess the king salmon are running right now. So we're going to try to get some king salmon and some halibut.
Nice.
So running meaning they're spawning.
I don't know what they mean by that. That's just what they say when it's like, oh, well, the king are running right now, so we can try to get some of those.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the terminology is, but I know that at different times, different salmon are coming into shore, coming up to the rivers, doing their
It's
thing.
it's probably the beginning of their spawn if they're coming toward the rivers. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to be doing ocean fishing, so we'll be out in the ocean doing,
Mm-hmm.
deep water, whatever.
Nice. How long are you gonna be up there?
We are heading back home Friday evening late. Like,
Okay.
what would that be? 2 o'clock a.m. Kansas City time. We're going to be heading back to Kansas City Friday night or Saturday morning.
So the internet says that the term the salmon are running is heading back to the breeding grounds.
Yeah. So back to the
So
stream.
they're not spawning, they're not breeding yet, but they're like on the move, headed
Back up to the
toward
rivers where
where
they
they're going to
spawn.
breed.
Gotcha. I believe
Cool.
check to see if I'm correct on the internet. I believe that the salmon that are running to go spawn, they're done. They're going to spawn and then they're going to be kaputs when they
Yeah,
spawn.
they'll die in the stream. Yeah.
They'll die all the way upstream after they spawn if you don't catch them first.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's why the bears get up in those streams and eat them things up, and the bears get super fat up here.
Because they got basically all the protein they could ever
Unlimited
want.
food supply, yeah, for that
Yeah.
period of time.
For that. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we came up here Wednesday last week.
What else have you guys been up to?
Oh, that's game.
There's Kinsley.
Hi.
Hello. Why aren't you going salmon
Howdy.
fishing?
He said, "Why aren't you going salmon fishing?"
Oh, I don't like that actually. I don't
That
really
what?
enjoy fishing that much.
But you can go on a
Or
boat.
salmon.
Who doesn't want to go on a boat?
He said, "Who doesn't want to go on a boat?"
Oh, I'd sit on a boat, but it's like $300 for like a person to go on a boat or something.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like $300.
Yeah, it's $300 each person.
So even just if they're on the boat, it's 300 a pop.
Except for the
Gotcha.
captain said he might bring a lady friend if there's only going to be 3 of us.
You want to be his lady friend?
You don't want to be his lady friend?
Oh, I will.
You could be my lady friend
Oh,
for the day.
Oh no no. Oh no no. She's not a paying customer. She's just my lady friend.
She's just my lady friend. Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
it's just going to be Jeremy, Ellett, and I, and then the captain and a deckhand and a potential lady friend of the captain.
That doesn't seem like that much money. Do you have to pay a fee to go out in addition?
No, that's
So
it.
just
300 bucks.
they get $900 for the day, and that's it. Wow.
Yes. So normally it's
They provide all your lure, all your bait, and everything for that.
yeah, all the setups, all the bait. The only thing they don't provide is beer and lunch,
Okay.
is what he said. The
They fillet your
normal
fish for
fee,
you.
I don't know about that one. We haven't got to that point yet. But the normal fee is 450. But since we are friends slash cash paying customers, we get the
That's a pretty steep discount for cash.
well, according to Guy, since if we weren't friends, we would have to go through the Coast Guard and all of this Alaska registration. But since we're just good old friends hanging out, going fishing.
Yeah. You know, it's a little bit like that in Wyoming. I didn't know this for all the years that we ran men's retreats out there, that you have to get a Wyoming guide certificate to take groups of
to bring people out there.
And so like when you charge somebody, there's a way that you can charge somebody for a trip, and there's ways that you cannot. You can charge them for lodging, you can charge them for like a number of different things, but like if you say you're charging them for, I forget what the terminology is, but like a trip, then you're a guide and you have to have a certificate to guide.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to run the individuals through a rigmarole like you're talking about, but like, oh, that's what it is. You can't, like, I can't take people to wilderness areas or national parks
Because you're not a registered guide.
I'm not a registered guide. That is reserved for Wyoming residents, and it's just a way for them to get some revenue for Wyoming residents. Yeah.
Oh yeah, another thing is technically charter fishing for whatever reason tomorrow can't fish halibut. But since we're just buddies out on a boat having fun, we can catch all the halibut we want.
And you can keep it? Like there's no limit, or?
Yeah, I don't know what the limitations are on them, but we'll be out there halibut fishing and no one else will be, commercially anyway.
Yeah. Does Jeremy actually know these friends of his?
So technically, yes.
Because he's gone before?
Well, he hasn't actually gone before, but he's knows them. He's met them. They're friends of friends from here, that kind of thing.
Where did you guys go? Because I've seen pictures of you guys with some pretty nice salmon. Or was it just Jeremy?
Yeah, no, the
Was
last
that at
time we went,
Kodiak?
we were offshore of Kodiak, which is only about 100 and I don't know, 110 miles from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's straight across the water.
I'm still here.
I'm getting notified that dinner is ready. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to probably cut out here in a minute. And then if you guys are still going, I'll jump back on when we get done eating.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds
But
good.
Darcy, I'm not going to leave you hanging while Dan. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's back.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm back.
All right. Well, we will. I'll come back on whenever I get done eating.
All right.
See you in a minute.
All right. See you guys in a bit.
Bye.
Oh man.
So are you a Stanley Cup watcher, or is that just what's on? I didn't know you
It
watched.
just started. I just started this year.
How much have you
Yeah.
watched it this year?
I have watched let me think here. So I don't think I saw the whole first round series.
Just a second. Sorry. Just a second. Just a second. Let me move it. What's up?
I want a pizza.
You what?
I'm getting a pizza.
You're getting a pizza. Are you gonna cook me a pizza?
You can cook me a pizza? I want pizza too.
I want some pizza. If
What
it's
about
not
me?
just a cheese pizza. Darcy does too. It's just cheese.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Hot Pockets. Is there any nukeable food I could eat? Sorry. Okay, so start again. I got distracted by
Okay,
all the
so
pizza talk.
me too. All right, so
Just cheese, that's it?
That's what I eat.
I want one.
You want a whole cheese?
I'm gonna split with Asa. You can deliver it sliced into, yeah, same difference. Okay, go ahead.
squares. You're
Squares.
gonna have it
Cut
sliced
into
in
squares.
squares, like Little Caesars.
Yeah, like little sleezers.
Or wait,
You can have a half moon shake.
okay,
Oh,
so
boy.
this year, the Winnipeg Jets were in the Stanley Cup Finals and made it into round 2. So that's what kind of got me started watching it.
Because your
'Cause
grandparents
I
are
have
from there? From there?
Winnipeg roots. Yeah,
Yeah.
my aunt and uncle are still there. My
Okay.
aunt's a big hockey fan. So I started watching it, watching the Jets, following the Jets. And then they got beat. And are no longer in the playoffs, but well, no one is, but because that was the final game.
Florida won the final game.
Yeah,
Is that normal? That's not normal,
so
is it?
since they won last year, so this
Oh,
was
they did.
like a repeat of last year's Stanley Cup Finals. It was Edmonton versus Florida, and Florida won last year.
Okay.
Although I think it went to Game 7 last year, and this time they won it in 6. Florida did.
Okay.
So it's best out of 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 3-2 going into tonight. Florida. So
Nice.
Florida just won it again. Which it's kind of funny, like talking to Jimmy, I'm like, we don't have a hockey team. I mean, we got the St. Louis Blues,
We
but
used to have a team, but I don't think they were part of the full-on
not NHL.
NHL deal.
Yeah.
The Mavericks.
Kansas City didn't have. We still have the Mavericks, but that's like small time.
Okay.
So we've had like the Blades, and I believe maybe the Scouts might have been NHL
Mhm.
way back. I don't know though.
I'm gonna
But
look it up.
yeah, the Kansas City Blades were like when we were kids.
Yeah, I went to a Blades
Did
game.
you ever go to a
Mhm.
Blades game?
Yeah.
That wasn't NHL either. I don't believe. But the Mavericks are still here. But that's minor league stuff. Anyway, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. I mean, we got St. Louis is in our state, but I'm never gonna be a St. Louis fan. Anything.
Kansas City briefly had an NHL team back in the 1970s. The Kansas City Scouts were an NHL
Yeah.
expansion franchise that played 2 seasons from 1974 to 1976. That's before either of us were alive. At
Yeah.
Kemper Arena.
Yeah. So the Kansas City Scouts, it's kind of cool. Does it have the logo right there? It's like
No.
it's like the Indian guy on horseback with the spear and stuff. That was their logo. Yeah, so that's a long time ago. But oh yeah. Anyway, so that's what we were saying. I was
Was
saying.
it this one?
Jimmy
Is
and
this the
I.
one? Or no?
Uh-huh.
That's the one you're
Yeah.
thinking of?
Yeah.
They also had this. Was that one of them too?
That's real nice.
Because it's
Now,
right
I
there in
I
the
think
middle.
the other one is right there. Yeah. Okay, so Jimmy and I, so I was like, well, who do you root for? And Jimmy said, well, here is my philosophy on hockey and watching hockey games. Since we don't have any skin in the game, he's like,
Skin.
I just always pick the team that's from the colder climate.
Mm.
So like, he's never gonna root for Texas
Never
or
gonna root for
Florida,
Florida.
yeah, or LA, or like, so,
Well, dude, like
which turns you into, like
a Canadian fan.
an Edmonton fan, yeah,
Right.
because, I mean, you got the Red Wings, Detroit, and I think they're like, I mean, they're one of the oldest teams in the league.
One of the oldest U.S.
Um,
teams or one of the oldest actual teams?
One of the oldest teams in the league. So the NHL, like the Stanley Cup teams started. There was 6 teams altogether, and I think that it was a New York team was the first U.S. team. I think, or Boston maybe, but I'm pretty sure Detroit is also like one of the oldest.
So NHL is National or North American Hockey League?
National.
National. So is the
Uh-huh.
nation Canada or is the nation the U.S.?
Well, it's just what they call it. So it it's been a number of different leagues. Like it started out as the I don't know, like Pacific Coast something or other league, and big that was the big trophy. And there were some like other leagues that then really wanted to get in on that and and so the Stanley Cup was invented, I guess. But then other leagues were like, well, how come we can't play for the big
Yeah.
win? And then there was some shakeups with like there was teams that got in that then people were like, we don't want these guys in here. Like we hate this owner or whatever. And so then they just kind of abandoned that other league
Hmm.
and created the NHL. And at the time, it would have been, I mean, it was like 6 teams, 5 of which were in Canada, and one of which was like basically Canada, if
Hmm.
you're talking New York, you know. And so, yeah, it was a Canadian National Hockey League, but
Yeah.
now it's like the NFL.
Right.
It's like this massive commission
Right.
and has expanded into the US.
Are they still doing on the football? Are they still doing the international games? Or was that just a
Yeah, they're
one
doing
one
more this year.
they're doing more this year?
hmm so I think last year they played in what, Germany and Brazil, or no, Mexico
A couple
and
years ago
Germany.
they played in Great Britain somewhere, right? They had the Lions. Like did they actually have a they didn't actually have a team over there. They just played.
No, it was 2 US teams that went over there and played.
Yeah.
It was 2 regular NFL teams,
And they
and
were
they're
talking
doing.
about doing an international team.
Yeah, there's talk of that. I think still, but I mean, um, I don't know how soon that'll happen. Uh,
Okay, real quick, let me read this because I'm thinking about it. Frederick Arthur Stanley, the 16th Earl of Derby. Title: he was the Governor General of Canada from 1888 to 1893. His contribution: in 1892, he donated a silver bowl, now known as the Stanley
so
Cup, to
that's the
be
top.
awarded to Canada's top amateur hockey team. Over time, the cup became the championship trophy of the National Hockey League.
Yeah,
So it
with
started out as
and
an amateur
there were some other
award.
like leagues that
Yeah,
essentially owned the Stanley Cup before it came to rest with the NHL.
that's interesting. That's kind of cool.
And now it's like that silver bowl is at the top and it's got tiers going down. And I think they add tiers to it because there's
As
like
time goes on.
engraving
Yeah.
on them. Okay, so there's going to be 7 international NFL games this year. They're going to be in Ireland and Spain
Mm,
and England and Australia and Brazil and Germany.
wow. I This is off topic, but I just have to show you this because it's
Okay.
just so wrong. This is wrong. Stanley Cup.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Oh, that
It's not
hurts.
right.
That hurts.
It's just right
Oh,
there.
I dropped my phone.
hmm
Oh man. Okay, go back. Go back. Oh, what the heck? Stanley Cup. Yeah. Advertisement for a Stanley mug before showing me the Stanley Cup. Okay, you're saying the bowl is the original, and then
hmm
they've added the tiers.
Oh,
That's
they're
pretty
holding it up
cool,
right
actually.
there. It's
Are they
huge
doing it
now.
right now?
There it is.
Yeah. And it's silver, and they engraved the new team name and everything on it.
Yeah, something like that.
Huh.
You can see, I mean, you probably can't, but I can see like there's engraving all around it.
Yeah, no, you can see it on this. Like you can actually zoom in on this picture and see
Oh yeah.
all the names that have ever been, all the names of the team members. Wow. It looks like they don't need to add a layer anytime soon, but I mean, eventually they'll have to add another layer.
It's the oldest trophy competed for by professional athletes in North America.
The lore. Interesting.
It's not recreated. Like, you have it for a year unless you win it again.
Yeah. And they're ice skating. So, okay, so this is not completely off topic, but it's kind of on topic. We had about 3 winters whenever I was in my let's say 10 to 15. Sometime between when I was 10 and 15, we lived in Missouri and we had some brutal cold winters. And we were able to ice skate on the ponds because it would warm enough to make a really nice ice skating layer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when that happens, like it warms enough to like liquefy the top and then overnight it freezes again, right?
It's like self leveling.
Yeah. And so for about 3 years in the 90s, we were able to ice skate like all the time on our ponds. And I got out, I had my dad's old, like straight up old leather, no ankle support ice skates from when he was a kid. And during those 3 winters, dude, I wanted to play hockey so bad. Because we got decent at skating, and then we would look at hockey skates and we'd be like, oh man, if you didn't have to actually like stabilize your ankle, how good could you be at skating? You know,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have hockey skates. We just had the Mighty Ducks video and on VHS and
And some old
leather skates. And
figure
we
skates.
skated and skated and skated, right? Like I had no idea how hard it was to skate backwards because we couldn't really skate backwards very well with those old skates with the cleats on the front.
With the picks, yeah.
Yeah. Also didn't know how you'd stop on skates until I started skiing and then realized, oh, there's other ways to stop than using the picks.
Mm-hmm.
Super into skating, wanted to go really bad, wanted to, and just like looked into it, and mom looked into it, and it was like, we're going to have to drive to Kansas City to get into a hockey league and buy like probably back then, like $100 worth of gear was like not going to happen for us with dad being a preacher. Unless we came out of our own savings, and my life savings was probably like $300 or $400 at that point. Right.
Yeah. And even back then, I mean, I don't know that $100 would get you very far because
no, that would have been,
you break sticks. I mean, you have to keep buying sticks all the time.
$100
you could have you could have gotten yourself a pair of used skates and a used helmet and some gloves, maybe.
The $100 was like the fee to enter a league. It wasn't like anything.
So you'd spend your $100 and not have any equipment.
Nothing.
And then you'd have to spend all of your life savings to outfit yourself for the first couple games, and then you'd have broken your sticks.
Right. So needless to say, between the drive back and forth to Kansas City and the cost of getting into a hockey league, et cetera, there was zero chance, and I was heartbroken.
Also, man, especially back then, I mean, I guess you could have gotten into like a super amateur league and had a game schedule around town. But like nowadays, I'm pretty sure the competitive leagues, they all play like all across the Midwest.
We would never
Like
have
we
done
were
that.
building a house, we were framing a house for some people over here in Liberty,
Hmm.
outside of Liberty, and their kid played hockey, and they were driving to St. Louis all the time for games
Yeah.
and practices.
Yeah, because
And Wichita,
there's no
and
local leagues.
I mean
Just
there
doesn't
I
happen.
think there are I think there I think there are a couple, but
Yeah.
you're talking like it's it's a little bit more than a pickup game at the community center. But there's just
So
not that many ice rinks.
there aren't. So when you like 3 or 4 years ago, when you were doing ice skating lessons, right? You
Yeah,
and your
yeah.
kids, right?
There was a hockey team. There was a hockey team that played there and practiced there.
I thought when we were there that after we were done, or maybe while we were playing, they were playing like quasi like half court hockey. And these grown ass men were like beating each other to death. And I was watching them and I was thinking, man, these guys are serious about something that does not matter and they're going to hurt themselves. And this is before I was old. Like that was probably 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was maybe more. Well,
More than 5 years ago. I mean,
it was
Ryan and
maybe like
Evabel
six or
were,
seven.
they were both.
Yeah, Ryan was probably 3 or 4 when we were going over there.
Dude, I saw that one time and saw them like get in a hockey fight over a pickup game of hockey and was like,
Oh yeah.
oh, dude, I'm glad I didn't get into that. I mean, those guys, like middle aged and nuts. It was crazy.
Hmm. Pretty
I
funny.
mean,
Yep.
okay, different subject. You want to change subject or you want to
Okay.
keep going on
Yep.
this
I'm
since
ready.
we're on the
I'm ready.
podcast? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to look up something.
Okay. Boy, there was something this week that I thought to myself, oh man, that'd be a good question for Dan to ask ChatGPT, but I can't remember it.
Okay. Here's the question for you. It's just
Okay.
I've been on a little bit of a kick the last few days,
Okay.
and I
All right.
100% I 100% will admit that it's a little bit of escapism. You know what escapism
Okay.
is? Like you just want to think about something
Yeah.
else besides something you're interested in, but besides what you have to do, just to kind of
Hmm.
clear the mind. And I realize that what I'm getting ready to say for most people would not calm them and clear the mind. But okay, I'm just reading this. I've never read this before. EAA chapter
Wait a minute.
612. What?
Okay, keep going.
EAA chapter 612 located at Roosterville Airport holds a meeting on the third Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. in the Airport Pilot Lounge building. They're informal and focus on connecting with other pilots, sharing experiences, and enjoying a meal together. Often, this potluck dish uh, is brought by members. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. EAA membership is only like $50 a year. Family membership is like $65 a year. Okay. Roosterville Airport is within like 5 minutes of you, something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had this idea.
Okay.
What if me and the boys and you, and your girls if possible, if you wanted, join the
Uh-huh.
EAA for $65. And I don't even think you have to join to go to a meeting. But
Okay.
the EAA is the Experimental Aircraft Association or Experimental Aircraft America or something like that, right? Okay. just for kicks, because they have what's called Young Eagles in the EAA, where like every once in a while they do like where your kid can go up for free with a pilot who's just trying to get his hours, takeoff and landings to move from.
That sounds great.
Does that sound cool?
No, I mean just sending your kid up with somebody that is learning.
No. They have to have, so like with pilots, it's like you have to have a certain number of hours to get your glider license. You have to have another
Uh,
number of license hours to get this license. Like as pilots go up in hours, they can get better and better licensing, right? So
mm,
so there's two factors about it. One is your kid, I'm sure if you go to an EAA meeting and you meet some of these pilots, you're going to be able to go up for free too. Like they
hmm
own their own planes. They're going to go flying either way, whether you go with them or not. They want to show, like, why wouldn't you? If you built a plane, you'd want to show it off to people. I would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My dad has a friend that flies experimental
Okay.
aircraft, and he loves going up with him.
So are you down? Are you down with going to an EAA meeting at Roosterville, which is like
Yeah.
5 minutes from your
Yeah.
house? Okay.
Yeah.
So the second aspect that I was thinking about was Asa's like a very good Lego builder, and like that type of understanding of following instructions, I'm not great at, because I build with lumber that is just there raw and you can do whatever you want with it. You know what I mean? It's a
hmm
little different following instructions versus just like, here's the big idea. How do you want to attack it? Right. In my life, I want to get my pilot's license and I want to build an aircraft. Like those are
hmm
two things that like I want to do. My wife has zero interest in flying with me or anyone. She doesn't want to fly with anyone in
I'm
a
pretty sure I just sent you.
small aircraft.
Didn't I just send you this past week something on maybe Facebook or something?
I don't know.
And it
I'll see.
was, and I said, you need to build this. What's up, Jimmy?
I'm back.
We're still here.
Good.
We've moved on from hockey. They're still
Just
celebrating
recently.
though.
I see that.
And now we're talking, Dan's going to build an airplane.
Right here in front of us?
I hope so.
I don't see it. You sent me. No, I sent you that. Never mind.
What kind
I
of
don't
airplane are you going to build?
So here's my two main interests, and they're totally different. There's an aluminum plane that's called a Sling TSI, which is basically the home built version of a Cirrus SR22. It's like
Okay.
it's the same. Like if you picture a Cirrus SR22, it's that, but it's a home built kit, right? So instead of being $1 million, it's like $250,000 for the kit
Cheap.
and all. Yeah, it's basically cheap. The second one, which is like, so like go from flying around at 160, 170 knots. Obviously, it's not a Cirrus. It's not like pushing 280, 290. Low wing. Cirrus is low wing, 4 to 5 seats. You can finish them out really nice, but they're never going to be like a Cirrus SR22 is like top of the line, everything. But they do the Sling TSI has
That's what
a
Heath used to
parachute.
have.
Is it? Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so you've been in a Cirrus, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a home built version of, and it's not a Cirrus, but it's in that same styling. And they literally, some people call it, a lot of people call it the poor man's Cirrus, because like you can get into it for 300 grand, and it performs really well. So clear on the other end of the spectrum is a company in Mexico, Missouri that makes an aluminum STOL plane, which is called a short takeoff and landing plane. Top wing, super, super big glass, like you can see everything. It's called the CH-750 Super Duty. And it's an
With
aluminum
the
plane
big
that
tires.
big tires. You can take off on a
That's what,
grass strip or anywhere. And there are people, not me, not you, but there are people who take them off in like 55 to 150 feet and land in
Heck
like
yeah.
under 200 feet, right? But the difference is
I'm
that
on
that
the
plane
podcast.
goes like 95 miles an hour max. And the Cirrus version, the Sling, goes like 160 to 180 miles per hour. The Mexico, Missouri one, you can get into it for like, oh yeah, for like that kind of resembles a Cirrus SR22.
It definitely looks like a Cirrus.
Yeah, but the Cirrus has landing gear that fold up, I think, if I remember right. Right?
Not the SR22.
The SR22 doesn't. Okay.
The Vision Jet does.
Okay. That's a nutty looking. Like it has the like bulb on top where the jet engine
Yeah.
is.
With the Y, or the V,
Mm-hmm.
the
tail
Y
wing.
tail.
So like that's the like they're two total like the mission that those two planes go on is completely different. One is like you're flying around Missouri, hopping from like little grass strip to like out in the middle of Kansas. You're not trying to get anywhere fast. You're going to go take your buddy on a flight and you're going to fly around his house at like 500 feet. The other is literally like you home built a plane you could fly across the country, in a reasonable amount of time with, right? Like,
Yeah. So, are you going to build the house first?
I just pulled this out of the oven.
do what?
I just pulled that out of the oven.
Thank you. Yeah,
You got some pizza?
I'm gonna finish the house first. No, what I was telling Darcy before you got back was Roosterville, which is like 10. Is it even 10 minutes from your house, Darcy?
No, it's less than 10 minutes.
Oh man,
I
we're
can
hot.
see. Yeah. Yeah. It's like right in line with Darcy's house.
That's a Stoll CH750. That's a 701, but a 750 looks just the same.
Do
That
do
does not look like
the
a Cirrus.
No,
it doesn't?
but that can be built for $100,000.
Is that a two-seater?
It's a 3-seater.
Okay.
Well, that one that he pictured was a 701. It is a 2-seater, I think. The 750 is a 3-seater.
Oh, here we go. What about? I thought you were looking at the one that had basically like um like rice patty tires on it.
Well, pull that one up
What
again.
were those ones?
Because
Here's
they put like 30-inch
750.
tires on some of them. You can put
Okay.
massive tires on a 750. Like you
I'm
see them.
going
So,
down into their
do you currently fly, Dan, or is this just something you're going to work on?
Dude, I do not currently fly, but I have flown. I've flown in small planes 4 or 5 times, and the smallest being that I went to a what do they call them? They're just a fly-in at a friend of mine's grass, a friend of ours. His name was Ralph Dye. He's passed away. He had a 150, a Cessna 150 that he flew around. His nephews had ultralights. You don't even have to have the license to fly an ultralight. You can kill yourself with no license. So the smallest that I ever rode in was one of their ultralights, which is literally a frame with cloth wings and a big old, like, it literally looks like you've strapped like a leaf blower backpack onto the back of a plane.
Dang.
Yeah. The largest plane that the largest small plane that I've flown in was, and I imagine Darcy probably did this same thing when he was a kid, was the Angel flying out of the airport at Richards-Gebauer. Did you ever do this when you were a kid, Darcy?
No, no. Dude, I've been in, I've probably been in 3 planes
Wouldn't that be fun right
ever.
there? Oh, for real?
I've been in a 747
Okay.
and I've been in 737s and I was in some little plane, like smaller commercial plane once when we flew out of West Virginia, and I don't know what it was, but it was some Boeing something or other.
Like a
So
commercial prop plane?
I've been in. No, it was a jet, but it was smaller than a 737. It might have been like a 727 or something.
Okay. So
But yeah, I
let me
have
look up
not. I've never been in a small plane.
You've never been in a small plane? Dude, it is so, you've been in, how
Uh-uh.
many, you've obviously been in the SR-22, Jimmy. What else?
Yeah, I've been in Cherokee,
Like a
a
Cub or Piper?
Cessna, a Piper, yeah, Cherokee Piper, some kind of Cessna. I don't remember what it was. Single engine, above wing. Um, I don't know. I've been in some uh, dual engine, dual prop, small planes that hold like 8 people. I don't know what they were. Um, that's probably it for small planes.
So this is the largest small plane that I've been in. Let me see if I can pull the screen share. Share. So that dude right there, it's kind of hard to tell from their photos. Let me see if they have the gallery. Here we go. So they basically, like, they set up a dual engine plane with the props on the back
Mm.
instead of on the front. And the idea was that, or is, that because of the placement of the props, you can take off shorter. Like, you can, your approach angle for takeoff and landing is pretty short, but you really didn't have to change a lot about the build of the dual prop plane.
Is that like a 10, 12 passenger plane?
I think, yeah, but the other thing that they do with it, the point of it was, it's a mission organization that created this plane. And the idea was you could easily pull all the seats out and you could just load the thing up with
With
gear to
drugs.
do drug runs,
Oh,
mission,
yeah.
like medical, yeah, drug runs, missionary drugs.
Mm-hmm. That's
And they
yep.
used to fly one out of Richards-Gebauer when Dr. Anderson, Jim Anderson, was the president there, and he was really wanting Calvary to be like a aviation mission school. And then that kind of just petered out whenever he was no longer the president. there. So I went in that plane with him when I was a kid. And then I've been in a couple of ultralights. Stop sharing.
I've never been in an ultralight.
It's a kite. It's just a kite with a motor, is what it is.
Yeah, that.
And then I went in a totally experimental aircraft that was like, I can't even describe it. If I saw a picture of it, I would know what it was, at the Lee Summit Airport. And I never got to go in this plane that my dad flew in whenever I was a kid in Bronson. That was a like balsa wood and canvas. It looked like a regular plane, but it was literally all wood and canvas. Or maybe not, where the motor was mounted. But like,
I just started following this girl on Instagram who's building a wooden plane. She's like some like engineer or something like that, and works in an office, and this is her like thing that she wants to do at home.
Yeah.
She just started. It's probably going to be cool.
It's going to be a minute. It's going to be a minute before it's done. So like Kit Fox is one that's a cloth wing. It looks just like a plane, but it's basically like your kayaks. A Kit Fox is. This kind of the configuration. Like you're having to do the epoxy and the cloth and everything over a wood, kind of a wood structure. But
yep.
So what I was telling Darcy was Roosterville has what is it? The third Thursday of every month, or Tuesday?
I thought you said Tuesday.
The third Tuesday of every month they have an EAA meeting, and it's like Plain Alcoholics Anonymous, basically, is what it amounts to.
Oh man.
And I kind of want to go there with the kids and meet some aviators or aspiring aviators who are building planes, and kind of
There you go. Roosterville, that sounds like the kind of place where that kind of stuff is happening.
Dude, yeah. I guarantee there's some Stoll guys flying out of Roosterville.
I tried to get my phone out and snap a pic of it. But the other day I was coming through Liberty and was about to head north, and a plane, and it was like, I didn't get a very good look at it, but what I did see were real square wings, which made me think it was maybe like an aerobatic type plane. Because the other thing that I noticed is there was no plane there, and then all of a sudden this plane is just going like this up over, like right over the Liberty Hospital, basically right over Tom and Emily's house. Nice. It just like pops up out of the trees and is super steep, like climb, and has, real squared off wings, and then like makes a real like quick roll and just books it up like up I-35. And it was gone quick. But it was just like, it caught me off guard just with, it was popping up out of there like a crop duster.
Wow.
But I don't know that they do that for
I saw that one plane over there. What was that? Overland Park, landed on the roof of the building.
Right on top of the building. Yeah.
Dang. Yep.
I don't think that's where they wanted him to park.
I mean, it's pretty close. It's on the airport property.
I heard somebody say that the speculation was initially that he had it was a twin engine and had a catastrophic failure on one side, and it just, as soon as he got off
Twisted
the
it
ground,
around.
it just spun him over and put him on that building. What's that one? A crop duster. You gonna build one of those?
Uh-oh. We lost Dan's voice.
What the
That's
heck,
a crop
Dan?
duster.
There it is.
I turned
Yeah.
it off because I was chewing.
Oh.
Oh, but you were also talking.
I forgot. Was that the plane? That type of plane? Because they've been doing fungicide lately, all over around here. Crop dusters.
I mean, it could have been a crop duster, but it was right over a neighborhood, and I don't know, a hospital.
Look at
But
this.
yeah,
Omer's
there
Hardware.
you go. Heck yeah,
And then
drug and hardware.
Drug and hardware.
drug and
not just
hardware.
hardware.
And then got, I don't know,
Single
Denali
engine.
Brewing.
Nice.
Single.
Gotcha. Airplane beer.
Talkeetna, Alaska. Denali Brewing. Single engine red.
Dude, you should try to ship some of that beer home.
Yeah,
Some
no
of that
kidding.
Alaska beer.
That'd be fun.
So here's the other aspect about the pilot thing. Shea wants to fly. She wants to get her pilot's license. I would like to fly. I think Asa would be a great aircraft mechanic. He's good at Legos.
That's all you need.
That's
Where it starts.
And
You know, that's how Heath came up with his Paragon bed cover, was with Legos.
with Legos, there you go. And he's a pilot.
And he's a pilot.
It's almost exactly the same.
It's almost the same.
The same thing.
Okay, so here's the thing though. It's not uncommon for girls who are accomplished to have a hard time finding guys right now that are worth dating or marrying. Okay. A pilot.
So she needs to really be able to expand her search capacity.
Yes. A pilot. Think about this. It's just the right amount of crazy and logic.
Wait, so you think she's the problem?
No, I think that if she got into aviation, she would open up a whole nother group of men who are, maybe more likely to be acceptable candidates.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
On the way up here to Alaska, we were flying Delta Airlines, and the co-pilot was a woman on the plane, and I can't remember what the plane was that we were on. Decently large plane, but
Jet or
Delta.
plane?
What?
Was it a jet or a plane?
No, it was a jet. It was a couple hundred passenger, probably Boeing of some kind.
Yeah.
But Delta, have you ever flown Delta recently? If you ask the pilot or co-pilot, they will give you a trading card, and it's just a little card that has all of the airplane's information on it, a picture of the airplane and all the details about the airplane. And it's just a fun thing that Delta does. So Elliot was asking this co-pilot girl if she had any of the trading cards, and she was like, "Oh man," she's like, "I'm all out of the one for this aircraft, but I have some for a different aircraft. Would you like one of those?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Would you like to go sit in the cockpit?" And he was like, "Heck yeah." And so she's like, "All right, come on up here." So she takes him up
He was
there.
like, I didn't think we got to do that anymore.
Yeah. So she takes him up into the cockpit and puts him in the
And
right
then he
seat.
pulls out his box cutter and he's like, "Hello, alakaba."
Yeah. No. And so then she says to me, she's like, "Do you want to sit in the left seat?" And I was like, "Sure." So I went up and I sat in the left seat. Ella was in the right seat. And then she's like, "You got your phone on you? I'll take a picture of you guys." So I have a picture of Ella and I sitting in
Awesome.
the cockpit of whatever that Boeing was that we
Wait,
were
you're in
flying.
Flying you guys to Alaska.
You're
Yeah, so
both in the two captain's chairs?
I was in left seat. He was in right seat.
There's no captain in it at all at that point.
No, yeah.
I'm pretty sure the last time that happened was was August
September
of
11th,
2001.
2000. Wow. So both the pilot and co-pilot vacated so you guys could sit in the pilot seats.
Yeah, now, yes, but we hadn't left the ground yet.
Oh,
We weren't like midair.
I thought you were in flight. I was like, that is
No.
awesome.
No.
And that's like okay, but like, bro,
so
you needed to
I
say
sent
that
a-
at the beginning of the conversation.
I did. I said we got on the plane and he asked the co-pilot if they had the trading cards. And she said, "Do you want to come sit in the cockpit?" It was as we were boarding.
Okay.
So I sent that picture to my family because it was not my entire family, but Jeremy and his crew and me and my crew on the airplane. And so I sent it to him and said, "Ella and I are getting ready to fly this plane to Alaska."
Nice.
But they didn't let us.
They didn't let you do it. Why not? It's got like autopilot and stuff, right?
You're like, can I at least
Well.
turn it on?
Can I-
I got this.
Purrs like a kitten.
I play with Legos.
Dude. One of my favorite, when I used to get on Instagram, one of my favorite guys, and he's probably on YouTube too, I could probably find him, is a dude who's an aircraft mechanic. And he is a Lord of the Rings information buff. Like he knows everything about Lord of the Rings. And he'll like have some little thing that he's working on
Is
a
his name
plane. He'll be
Andrew?
like, I don't know. Do you know who I'm talking about? And he'll go into he'll be like,
probably not. Keep going.
he'll be like talking about like some little part on a plane, on a jet that he's working on. It'd be like, it'd be just like, it's what I think of whenever I see this part is like, and he goes into this diatribe about something about the Lord of the Rings that you never heard of and never thought of. And like, he goes into the whole backstory and he's like, it's not quite that cool, but it's pretty cool. And then that's it. Like, it's always working on a plane and it's always some diatribe about the Lord of the Rings that has
That's
nothing
funny.
to do with it. And then he just like goes back into like, some part.
Dude, airplane mechanics have a pretty darn easy job these days.
Do they? Why is that?
I think so. I don't know. All I know is I used to know an airplane mechanic, and he pretty much just sat around looking at the internet, reviewing all the latest information about the airplanes.
I don't know, dude. Like you know how many, like when you have a plane, this is one of the things that I'm like not sure of about building a plane is the number. So like if you went to buy, let's say you wanted to buy a plane, you could buy a plane from the 60s that is still up to snuff according to the FAA because the number of points of inspection that a plane airframe goes through, and like after 2,000 hours, unless you get a special certificate, your engine has to be overhauled, period. The airframe inspection for every bolt, like I was watching a guy named Trent Palmer, and he was having an FAA inspection on his like kit plane, his STOL plane. It's a Kit Fox. And like the guy was like, that bolt needs to be swapped out for one that that is longer. Why? Because this bolt had only 2 threads showing on the back of the nut, not 3.
Dang.
Like, hang on a second. Gotcha.
No, it couldn't. Yeah, it couldn't be. It couldn't be tight. So it's tightened with a torque wrench at the correct torque, and
Wow.
then it only had 2 threads and not 3. And then the other thing that they do is they have these nuts where nut and bolt combinations where you tighten the nut until there's a hole that exposes, and then you put a wire through the thread and you tie it off in this particular way so the thread, basically the nut couldn't come off even if, even if it got loose, it couldn't come off because it has a cotter pin through it. Like it's crazy the number of inspections that they do on planes. Also, for all of the times that I talk to my wife about this all the time because I'm like, when I get my pilot's license, you're going to go fly with me. And she's like, nope. People die in airplanes. Airplanes, for the number of hours that people spend in airplanes compared to motor vehicles, like the death rate for motor vehicles is like hundreds of times higher than airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's unbelievable. Like
For
you
sure.
and I have heard about every airplane crash that ever happened. And there's a fair number of them. But like for every plane crash that happens, there's like 1,000
A
car
million.
crashes.
Oh,
Maybe
way
a
more than
million.
1,000.
It's
Maybe like
it's unbelievable how many people die in car accidents compared to plane.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not just like because more people drive. It's like per hour of humans flying.
Yep.
The FAA has flight so locked down. Like, it's incredible how safe it is to fly.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously the massive majority of all accidents or incidents are on takeoff and landing. And so
Yep.
you have a takeoff and you have a landing. All of the hours you fly, if your plane can fly 10 hours in between, all of that is basically like.
Do you follow the guy on YouTube? His call sign is Hoover, the pilot debrief.
Should I?
He's pretty interesting. Yeah.
On what? On what? YouTube? Instagram?
YouTube. Hoover, he calls his channel Pilot Debrief.
Okay.
And he basically just does a breakdown of all of the, latest and greatest plane crashes. He is also a pilot, a former, I think, Air Force or Marine. I don't remember.
Okay.
And then current commercial pilot.
I just followed him, although I can't quite figure out how to get to his page. I'm one of 3 subscribers. That must not be the right guy. Oh no, 812 subscribers. So here's the other thing that's interesting. So whenever I was in the position where I can stop talking about flying anytime, by the way, guys. When I was in high school and I was like, ooh, I want to get my pilot's license, it was like only maybe $3,000 or $4,000 for the whole deal at the Lee Summit Airport. Okay, so this is 25 years ago, 25, almost 30 years ago now. But you did it in small batches over like 6 months to get your full-on pilot's license. Now, there's 2 major changes. They have what's called a sport pilot license, which is a license that you can obtain with like half as many hours, no medical. You're limited to the size and scope of airplanes you can fly, but the number of hours you have to take of training is much lower. because they're trying to get more people into flight or into aviation. There's that. Sport pilot is maybe a 15-year-old deal, so you can fly smaller aircraft. The second thing is they've figured out that, and they probably knew this, that if you do flight training for like 8 hours a day, consecutive days, you learn it way faster in terms of total hours than if you take it like, you go to the airport and you fly for like 3 hours, you have a couple takeoff and landings, you study, you come back a week later, you learn half the things you forgot again. So they're like getting people into their pilot's license in like 14 or 15 days now. And some even less than that, because like the intensive is actually, they're figuring out that like learning it on an intensive where like you don't think about anything else for like a week or two is actually more effective to get you, to the level of solo flight, etc. I'm in. I want to do it.
Well, how much does it
How
cost now? 3,025 years ago.
There are a few
30.
flight schools that can get you in under 10 grand. And I don't know the guy, but I could know the guy if I wanted. If I wanted to, I could know the guy who does a deal with individuals where he gets you to buy a plane that needs to be rehabbed. You come to his hangar and you help him rehab the plane, and then you resell it after your flight training is over. And he takes the money from the profit from selling the plane as payment for your flight training. Does that make sense? Kind of? In some weird, twisted way. Because so what it is my friend Jerry built the accommodations, the living space, the kitchen, etc., in his hangar, and his business is called Rainbow Aviation School.
Rainbow.
And what their main thing is that they teach mechanic, like aircraft mechanic work.
Are you running any specials this month?
He also, is this the month for?
This is the month, and yeah.
So what he does, he mainly teaches light sport mechanic, but he also does a thing with individuals where he will help you get your pilot's license by doing this. Like you come and help him work on planes, basically. I'm interested.
Nice.
Do it.
I do need to finish my house first. But
can you take off in 600 feet?
Can I?
Can your plane take off in 600 feet?
Yes. The STOL plane? Yeah. Why? You got a 600-foot runway?
Well, I could.
At your house?
Uh-huh.
Just clear it?
Yeah, just make it like just level it off my driveway over to my fence line. Clear out all those trees and fences and from the front all the way to the back.
You have to get some of those fat tires on there.
Yeah. I got a tractor though. I could level it out real nice. How long will it be till you get that thing built in?
The house or the plane?
The plane.
So I got to finish the house first. I'm told. I'm told that I need to finish the house first. But I, man, it depends on how much you're going to help me.
Mm.
If I buy a plane kit, are you guys going to come down and help me? What if I keep it at Roosterville?
If it was at Roosterville, that would be easier. But I'm not going to drive to dang wherever you live to do it.
It's going to be longer. So here's the thing: the 750 stole the CH 750. They estimate it's about 1,000-hour build time.
Wes Harris wants in on it with you.
I don't want. Why? Why did he come up?
Because he wants to
love
build a
you.
plane.
Does he really?
Does
he have his license?
He was well into getting it before he stalled out and quit.
And
Why
started
quit?
building a house.
No, he started. His wife was like tired of him doing the pilot license stuff.
Why? Just no use for it.
It's time and money and
Why do
she
wives
probably
get tired of their
similar.
husbands doing things?
She's in a similar boat as your wife. Not
She's
ever
never
gonna
gonna
fly
fly
with
with him. Yeah.
No.
So that is part of the like, okay, would I fly if, like, hypothetically, let's say that I had my license and I had a plane. Would I fly to Wyoming more often, or would I fly like to some weird place in South Missouri more often? You know, like just for kicks.
What about to my house?
Would I fly to your house more often, or would I fly to, Montana? I imagine I'd probably realistically fly locally more often. I'd fly more if I was flying something that was a local flyer, I think.
You could probably land on Jimmy's street.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what all the rules are, but I see planes, these stole plane guys, landing in crazy places all the time. Like
Dude,
landing out at Lou's in his field just for grins. Like,
yeah. On the dam.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
baby.
We just stand out at the street and make sure nobody pulls out of their driveway when you're about to get there, and then as soon as you're there, you just drive it on into the backyard, Jimmy's house.
In the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You think there's room for a 30-foot wingspan vehicle for real on your street?
On the street,
Jimmy's street?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got a pretty wide street.
And a cul-de-sac at the end. You can turn it around and take back off.
Yep.
There you go.
It's a little lumpy, the cul-de-sac is.
There are a couple of bumps in there, but you'll be going slow enough it won't matter at that point.
You get these tires that are like, some of these dudes have tires like this big on their planes.
Oh yeah.
I think that some of those
like little 17 PSI tires.
Yeah, they're enormous tires. I imagine that it's probably not even great for them to land on pavement. If I was guessing.
Right.
I keep seeing those guys flying around out here.
Oh yeah, with the big tires.
It's either that, yeah, the big tires or floats.
Floats? Where do they land around here with floats?
Well, here, where I'm at.
Oh, here. Right.
Right here.
Oh man, I just watched a video the other day of a dude taking off in a float plane and just a boat just running right in front of him. Just creamed the boat and submarined the plane.
That's not good.
The tower was calling it too. The tower was like, "You got a plane coming in. You got a plane, or you got a boat coming in. You got a boat coming in from the east." But he didn't shut it down. Could.
There's a lake right around the corner from here that is it's an aircraft lake only. So it's just
I think
a
I've
big
seen it
giant
on
lake.
the. I think I've seen it on the Google Maps.
Oh yeah,
Was it
and then there's just planes parked
aircraft
all the
lake
way around
only?
it. What's Dan doing?
Probably getting more food.
Getting more food.
They don't just deliver it to you like they did the last time?
You can't count on that.
We're kind of low on food at my house.
Uh-oh.
Anna's been working a whole bunch the last 5 days. She's worked 4 out of the last 5 nights.
Dang.
So she hadn't gone to the grocery store in a little bit, and I haven't either.
Yeah. Have you figured out what you're doing with Pig yet?
No. I need to call those guys tomorrow, and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure this was the week that I need to take it up there. And if I don't take it this week, it'll be 2 more weeks that I'd have to wait. Which
Yep.
I mean, it's been this long.
Right. Has he cut loose anymore?
No, I wired that pallet in front of the gate, and now he can't push through. So,
Nice.
well, I didn't wire it. I just tied it with baling twine. But basically, he just can't push through. That gate just wouldn't hold up. He just bend it and it'd go out of the way. But with that pallet in front of the, like, in between him and the gate, in front of the post, he's stuck. I'm guessing that it wasn't even intentional. Like,
right.
I bet he was just like rubbing on the fence and popped a gate open. And then it was like, oh, well, looky here. But yeah, it was, Dan, I don't even know if you know this. What day was that? It would have been maybe
I don't remember.
Tuesday, I think.
When Pig got out?
So got out a second time.
I didn't know about that.
So the first time, Jimmy stopped by to bring me something, right?
Yeah,
my calculator.
those.
You were just returning my calculator,
right?
And I was feeding animals, and he just walked with me back towards the back, and we're halfway across the middle of my spot here, and here comes this pig just charging at us. Like, it was pretty darn surprising.
A little startling.
Like it was mad, like charging you?
No. Once you like register what's going on, it's just this pig that's just
completely
flopping. Yeah, but extremely unexpected. And then, I had a bucket of feed in my hand, and so he just followed me and went right back in the pen. Well, then this past week, I was just sitting right here, and my phone rang, and I look at it, and I don't recognize the name, and so I usually answer my phone. If it rings, generally I answer it, even though I know that a lot of times it's going to be somebody trying to sell me a roof or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I see this number. It's a Missouri number. I answer it, and he's like, Darcy? I'm like, yeah. Hey, this is Brian. Behind you? I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, your pig's in my yard. Like, oh.
Wait, I knew about this one. I didn't know about the first one.
Oh, okay. You didn't know about the first one.
I didn't know
Yeah.
about the first one.
I'm like, oh, I'll be right there. So I go slip some boots on and go outside, and his wife's right up here by my fence. She he'd followed her back up to the gate, but then wouldn't go through. And then when I got out there, he was headed back toward the street and was in my other neighbor's driveway in front of his house by the time I got him to like head back toward the pen. Yeah, so you didn't know about the first time he got out. All right.
I didn't
He's
know it
been
was
out
the second
twice,
time.
but not not hopefully not a third time. Oh yeah. Man. Starting in with the yawns.
It's getting to be about that time, isn't it?
I think it is.
I've got to go run to the store here in just a little bit, so I'm going to probably cut you off soon.
And then go
Well,
to the
let me-
beach.
Yeah, and then head over to the beach.
Well, Darcy, you went to a. Let me tell you one more story.
Okay.
And it's mostly for Darcy because he came to a ball game the other night with of aces.
Uh-huh.
So we went down to old Adrian or Archie, whichever one it is. It's the one that your favorite cousin's
That's Adrian.
husband, Adrian. I think it was Adrian. Anyway, we went down for a ball game, and we started playing these kids from that town, and this is going like fair to modeling initially, a couple points here and there.
Runs.
Did you just say fair to modeling?
Modeling, medium. So there was a couple of runs scored here and there. And then I do not know what happened like third, fourth inning ish. But we started just like they started throwing ball after ball after ball, walking
runs in.
loading bases,
Bummer.
walking runs in. This
Your
is the
team
other
did?
team. No, the
Oh,
other
other
team.
team.
It's like 18 to 4
Dang.
in the fourth inning. Whatever the limit for like 1 point under the like mercy rule is what it is. So they put Ace in because he's not a very experienced pitcher. 4 up, 3 down on his pitching. And then we just go back to just hammering them the next inning. Between us hammering them and them walking players and switching out pitcher after pitcher after pitcher,
Oh, no.
it ends up 29 to 4
Oh, that's brutal.
fourth inning.
That's not fun for anyone.
It's not fun for the. I'm like, dude, I'm starting to yell, swing the bat, because they are just walking like. And the thing is, like, you can't blame a kid for not swinging the bat when he'd be like
Right.
doing
Chopping
this
at the
number,
ball.
or like,
Sure.
like this number, like
Ooh.
Ace
29.
29 to 4. Is how
So
it ended.
I mean,
Asa pitched
don't they have like a 15-run rule prior to the fifth inning or something like that?
So
Or like a 25-run rule prior to the.
there's some switch. There's some point at which if you don't hit the 2-hour limit, or the losing team is the one that gets their half of the inning, like you have to keep going.
You have to keep going.
So it only went 4 innings. It was 29 to 4 when it ended.
Dang.
Asa pitched 2 of the 4 innings with no hitters. The other two pitchers pitched, innings where they scored one, or maybe it was the fifth.
What
Maybe
age
it was
group is this?
This is U15. And the umpire is like arguing with the like other team because he's from their town. Like, dude, I want to go home as much as anybody does, but there's no way for me to end this game. Could you guys just give up? And they're like,
Nice.
we get our at bat. And it's like so bad. I think Asa started his pitching when they were in the 20s, and they didn't score anything on him the first inning that he pitched, which was either the third and fourth, or fourth and fifth inning. And he ended his second with no hitters. He walked 2, struck out 3, and the last strikeout, I have it on video, and Asa's like, 0 chance that was a strike. It was like so
It's a called
inside.
strike.
It was a called strike, and the batter was like, what? And Asa was like, the umpire was absolutely
He was done.
done with that game. And the thing is,
Oh my
like,
goodness.
probably like 8 out of 10 pitches that Asa pitched were pitches that the umpire might have given the other team as strikes if they had thrown them, but they didn't. Like, one of them, like either 2 or 3, like the first 1, 2, 3 in the batting lineup of Ace's team, swung at 2 pitches where his arms were like this.
Dang.
Like, and he's like, whoa! And he's like looking at the coaches.
You don't have any better chance than that.
You ain't getting a better chance than a tomahawk, like a Viking swing at a pitch.
How can you have a team full of pitchers that are that terrible?
I don't know how. Yeah, like, I don't know how every game isn't that bad, because the thing is, like, it sucks for your pitcher to pitch strikes and the other team to just have their number and just like knock everything out into the gaps, and they're just pummeling you because they're just hitting everything, and they're hitting it in spots where you can't field. This was not that. I would say half of the runs
Were walked in.
Were walked in. And
That's
then
brutal.
with the bases loaded, you hit a ball that's decent and you scored 3 points. So like, you didn't have to like, okay, here's how bad it got, because they were so beat down and so demoralized. Parker, Parker, right? Darcy?
Nope.
I don't know him, but I remember the other game.
He's the other kid that's about Asa's height. They're the kind of the 2 tallest kids on the team. He's a little bit heavier than Asa. Parker went to, maybe he didn't go to the survival night that you went to, but he's been.
Oh, I think he did.
Maybe he did.
Do you have a brother?
No.
Oh, maybe not. Okay.
So Parker.
I don't think he did.
Parker is a very hot, cold type of hitter, right? Sometimes he's on it. He gets some good luck, but like, the way he swings the bat is not like consistent, right? Parker swings, boom, hits a ball that just goes down to the ground or up or something. I don't even remember. It does not get 4 feet from the plate. Like, that's the kind of, it either popped up and I think it popped up and then they dropped it, but it went off the catcher's glove and it hit the ground 4 feet into the field. Okay. They threw it to first, overthrew.
Overthrew.
They threw it to third, overthrew. He hit an inside the park home run
Off of their errors.
off of a 4-foot into the field pop-up. A bunt,
Dang.
I think it.
a
Who was it?
non-purposeful bunt.
Who's the big kid?
Parker's the biggest kid, tall-wise.
No. Who's that chunky
Wonder,
kid?
Wonder. What
Yeah.
was his last name?
Didn't he have a
He probably got like a triple or
an
something,
infield
right?
triple? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that dude is not fast.
He's like,
Hmm.
I'm on first. Like, he's never gonna make it to second. Oh, he made it to second. Oh, there's
Oh
no
my
way he makes it to third. Oh. So here's the other interesting thing. In like the third inning, when they were pushing it out to like 12-3 or something. Okay. So it must have gone 5. So the third inning, they're pushing out to like, we're getting into double digits and they're still at like 3. Okay. He makes it to home and steps on the plate, and you hear the thud of the plate. And then the guy tags him with the ball and glove. And the umpire's like, he's out.
Nice.
And we're all like, what? But they've just put 9 on the board in that inning. And so everybody's just like, let's just keep
It'll be
moving.
fine.
It literally went from like 3-1 to 9-3 in that inning. And he got called out on an absolutely no way was he out. Third, tagged out at home. Like, no way was he out.
Oh, that's funny.
That's good stuff.
It was a painful game, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
that sounds
painful
brutal.
to be on the win side. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, it hurt.
Hey, a W is a W.
W is a W.
That's right. Uh-huh.
All right. It was okay. So then I was going to say this. So Asa pitched 2 innings, two shutout innings with 1 hit in the 2 innings. And like, honestly, like, did he pitch when you were there? I don't remember. He didn't.
He did not.
He needs to practice, but he's got the pitching like form. He can pitch. And he throws the ball a lot harder than most of those kids can throw the ball.
Maybe he should play on that other team.
Yeah. Like, hey, you guys need a pitcher? Oddly,
you need a loaner.
the third pitcher in the last inning, this is the other thing. The third pitcher in the last inning that they pitched couldn't throw a strike to save his life in warm-ups. And we're all just like, oh my goodness, this is not good. When it came to the real game, he struck out 2 batters.
Dang.
Like, I mean, granted, our guys were up 27, 28 points and
At
swinging
that
at
point, they're
everything.
just hacking at whatever.
But he did throw them close enough that they felt like they could swing at them. Yeah. He was walked 3 times, had 1 hit, and he scored 3 times. He scored 3 times in 1 inning.
Oh,
No.
man.
He scored 2 times in 1 inning, and a 3rd time, like first or second batter up in the next inning. Yeah.
That's doing something when you can score twice in the same inning.
It's
It's like Bobby.
Just like Bobby.
Yeah. All right.
All right. That's that.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Not your average guys.
Yep.
Signing off.